Welcome to Flashpoint Friday, a weekly series where I select one game at random from Flashpoint's archives and give it a try. And maybe, just maybe, the game might actually be good. Hello everyone, welcome back to Flashpoint Friday, and this week we have a game called Panzer Dragoon Flash, which was a promo game on Sega's official website for the release of Panzer Dragoon Orda, which was a game that came out for the original Xbox in 2002 and 2003, depending on what part of the world you lived in. Now, I don't know much about the Panzer Dragoon games. I've never played any of them myself. All I know is that they're a 3D rail shooter series that's kind of a fantasy sci-fi mix where you control dragons. Now, the developer of this promo game actually still has this on his website, and it's playable if you wanted to try it out there. I'll post the link if you're so inclined. But I'm playing the Flashpoint version, and suffice to say this is no longer on Sega's official website. But let's go ahead and hit start and see what we're in for. So, how to play: use your mouse to move the cursor and drag it around the screen. Press the left mouse button to fire your gun. To use the lock-on laser, press and hold the left mouse button until the cursor turns red. Move the red cursor over enemies to lock on, then release the left mouse button to fire. You may lock on up to 3 enemy targets at once before firing the lock-on laser. Okay, so there's elements of like Star Fox 64 almost, if you're familiar with that, with its charge-up lock-on laser. So here we are. Looks like a 3D perspective here, viewed from behind the flyer, flying over some sort of ocean or sea. And so far so good. That was using a lock-on laser. Let's see what regular laser's like. You know, I think you have more luck with the lock-on laser. You can charge it, and like the instructions said, you can lock on to multiple enemies at once. And you can keep it charged up while you're moving too, so it allows you to dodge enemy fire a little easier. So yeah, if you're going to play this, I recommend relying on the lock-on laser feature. And looks like we have a boss, giant jellyfish. We fought a few smaller versions of it, and it's firing all kinds of red projectiles at us, so let's just try to avoid those as best we can while shooting at it. I'm not sure if there's any weak spots on this or not, or if just anywhere on its body counts equally. Looks like that might be the case. Got some good hits in there. Yeah, well, level 1 complete. Did pretty good. 54 out of 59 enemies killed, and we only took, I think, 1 hit. So you have a total score of 1781. So, yeah, so colored me impressed so far. I'm really liking the presentation. Looks like level 2, or it's an overcast day. Not sure if we're still flying over the sea or not, but... And very nice ambient music to accompany this. Maybe it's a bit too relaxing for the frenetic action nature of this, but still pretty neat to listen to. I believe Flashpoint said this came out at around 2002, so it was around the time that Panzer Dragoon Orda itself released. And I feel like this was kind of the era when Flash and web games really started to kind of come into their own. At least with regards to presentation and such. Like, for example, this was around the same time that Alien Hominid, the original demo version at least, landed on Newgrounds and such. So you started getting more ambitious titles, both from independent and also corporate commissioned developers like this. So. But yeah, I would say that this game is accomplishing its intended purpose, though. It's kind of making me curious about trying out the Panzer Dragoon games, because this is pretty intriguing so far, what I've played. The presentation is pretty interesting. It's kind of a fantasy sci-fi combination, but the fantasy is more of like a Far East or Japanese fantasy, I feel. So, pretty neat. Alright, so we did alright on that level 2. So on to episode 3. It doesn't look like your health replenishes between levels though, so you kind of really want to prioritize minimizing your damage taken. It looks like we're over a desert this time around, with possibly a sandstorm in the distance. And emerging from the mist comes some more flying enemies. Interesting music again. I like it. Oop. Another hit there. I'm not sure if there's multiple lives or not, or if you die once, that's it. I think we're almost to the boss again. Yep. What do we got this time? Wow. Look at this thing. Definitely more mechanical this time around, but it still has, yeah, kind of a biomechanical feel to it with its limbs. And this one is more relentless in launching its projectiles. Seems like so long as you evade in a circular fashion like this, though, you're able to fare fairly well. Almost got him. Nice. All right. Episode 3 complete. Oh, and that's it. All right. Well, I guess I beat the game. Batman's left nostril, BLN for the initials, I guess. But I get the feeling it's not going to register my high score. Yeah, look at all those blank names. I'm sure when this was originally hosted on Sega's website, they probably had a way of restoring the high scores, but sadly, that is a feature that Flashpoint can't really support. So I guess we'll just return to the main menu. I'll give you my thoughts. So yeah, that's Panzer Dragoon Flash. It's a short little promo game, lets you play 3 stages. That presumably gives you a bit of a taste of what to expect for Panzer Dragoon Orda. But yeah, color me impressed by this. I think there's a lot to like here. The presentation is really nice. The gameplay was pretty solid. And like I said before, it does its intended job of making me want to try out the mainline Panzer Dragoon games. So yeah, consider this a thumbs up for me, and check this out if this seemed interesting to you. So thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Flashpoint Friday, and take care, everyone.